name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot and welcome to the July monthly general reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, speaking as Capricorn Mars. So if you don't know what your rising sign or your moon sign is, there are a couple of links in the description down below so you can go and get yourself a free birth chart. It does help to know your birth time to get your rising sign. So as a general reading rules apply. So timing is far from absolute. If someone else turns up in these readings, I can get you and them mixed up because I'm looking at energies and actions. So, but I don't think that happens a great deal. However, where these readings are different, it's not a take what resonates, take a job lot, or none of it. Now, the way that you know, there is a past and a present on this spread. Now, if the past and the present do not fit, it's not for you, it's for another Capricorn. Go and watch your moon sign, go and watch your rising sign. If the past and present do fit, listen to the whole lot. Don't let me make decisions for you. You know, you keep your power, don't give it to me. But where these are useful is I would like you to ask a question beforehand. So take a moment, think about all of the questions that are around you, focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them because cards will answer what they want. You know, they don't have the same sense of priority that you and I do. So also, there is a link down below for the Facebook page for this channel and my link tree. If you're wanting to approach me for a personal reading, Facebook's probably the best way to do it because that page has its own inbox, which I check regularly. Sometimes things can get buried under emails, but if you just want to do an email, link tree's down there. So the little bit of YouTube business, thank you very much for all my returning subscribers. And if you want to hit that like button or press the subscribe button while you're passing, it means that YouTube might tell you when my next videos are uploaded, and the like really does help the video get seen in the first place. So thank you very much for everyone who has done that already, and keep doing it. Definitely keep doing it. I'm still a baby channel. So that's my housekeeping. 2.5 minutes, a bit longer than I have been on a few of the other videos. Let's bring your cards up. So Capricorn, what I'm seeing, I mean, certainly looking at the bottoms of the deck, we have 4 of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, and 2 of Wands. You're in a holding pattern at the moment. And this is, I think you're in a position where you're not entirely sure that you have all the information, or that information that you have received, is it true? Is it not true? Can you trust it, really? And I'm not going to actually make an opinion one way or another about that. But there is this sense of things preparing, things coming to a head. I'm really drawn to the fact that it's a full moon on this card, but with 2 of Pentacles and the Tower card clarifying it. So you're balancing the crazy demands of everyday life at the moment, where something is shattering, something is falling to pieces, which may well be your own personal attitude about something is shattering and falling to pieces as well. Because we've got coming in pretty soon here, this Fool card. So, hey, guess what? A tarot reader's telling you you've got a new beginning coming. But there is new beginning energy, but there's a story that leads up to that. So I'm really feeling that right now you're in a holding pattern and that you're finding that quite frustrating. It's not even, I want to get moving. It's, I want to know. I want to know what's real, what I can trust, you know, what's falsehood, where people's trying to tell me, send me astray, or, you know, purposefully or not purposefully, you know, just by accident. But you've not got a lot to work with right now. And you know what? That's okay. Because from the angel area, we have two cards that came out. Schlegiel, the Angel of Snow, and Metariel, the Angel of Rain, in that order. So Schlegiel, the Angel of Snow, is one who sees the beauty in everything. Schlegiel goes and goes to the cold, wet, cold, snowy wastes, where basically it's cold and it's miserable. And Schlegel dances and sings because Schlegel sees the beauty in all of it. So that's like a making the best of or seeing the joy in a fairly barren situation. You ain't planting no crops in them fields. You're gonna have to dig through a couple of foot of snow and ice to get them in the first place, if you can get into the earth. And then behind that, Metariel, the Angel of Rain. Now there's a couple of symbols with this. Metariel is seen as rain is all-encompassing. It gets everywhere. There is no stopping it. Once that rain starts, you will get wet. Your house will get wet on the outside. Everything out there will get wet. There is, but also interestingly, because I know them two appear together, but of course the rain melts away the snow. Hopefully it melts away the snow. So there's that is showing that there is some change coming, and so the truth that you need to be focusing in on is what's making you happy and what you believe to be true. Keep testing what you believe to be true. Absolutely. Is this true? And keep poking it. But it's finding your own personal truth in all of the situation that's going on at the moment, because options are going to be coming up. But I'll get into the main bit of the cards later. This is all from the Oracle cards in the bottom of the decks, because we have Icarus. I always ask what God or what God force is assisting or instructing this sign at the moment. Icarus, here in this deck, representing inexperience. But the message that I got through with it is aim high. Aim high, but realize your limitations. Aim high, but realize that you're a beginner. But there's nothing wrong with aiming for as high as you can and being aware that you can't get there right now. But by the time you complete the steps that you do understand, you have gained experience and understanding to understand the next steps that you must take. Because that's what we have Lelahel here, with light of understanding. And also Lelahel, that's the second time Lelahel has turned up this month. So Lelahel's got quite a bit to say. There's quite a lot of pennies dropping around the world at the moment, I think. I can't remember what sign it was that also got Lelahel. And then we have the Guardian Angel of Creativity, which is emphasizing that message from Icarus. Aim high, but just be aware of what your limitations are today. And then tomorrow, be aware of what your limitations are tomorrow. But there is no hard and fast rule that says the limitations that you have today will still be in place tomorrow. So that's actually it's a really nice feeling that I'm getting. I would say it's a lot like a snowball rolling downhill. Apart from, I don't want to use the allegory of snow after what I've just been saying with Schlegiel, and nor do I want to use the allegory of downhill, because downhill's the wrong way of looking at it. Right, so let's have a look at what the actual tarot was saying, because I did see, I've had a quick flick through them, and I saw a story forming, although I haven't looked at this pile yet. Two of Swords, Princess of Pentacles, the World card. That's going to give context from whatever the distance passes. So I'm going to start here. You were right, you were in a position where, that makes more sense now. You were in a position where things were going well. You know, it looks like you'd been called to up your game somehow. You'd been called to level up. So that could be a new job, a new form of intimacy in a relationship, big R or little r, um, a new relaxing or erecting of boundaries and barriers in your life, a new skill level, you know, sort of you've done your GCSEs and you're going on to your A levels, or you've done your A levels and you're going on to university, or whatever your country's equivalent of all that is. You know, there's that idea of graduating with this Princess of Pentacles. Is that I call it my well, the Page of Pentacles I call my level up card. So all at once you have accomplished one level and you are the beginner on another level. And that was quite a burden, but a burden that he was actually quite tough with. You know, it's with this Ten of Wands, you're heading for a pinnacle, and yeah, it's hard work to get there. But your intuition was certainly leading you along. We've got the main card being the High Priestess, and I'm really, with this particular High Priestess, I'm always drawn with that idea of balancing the two opposing forces, and it's two people on this Ten of Wands. So that idea of, it's not even balancing two opposing forces, but it's getting two things or people to do equal shares of the task at hand, the work. Now, this is then clarified again by the High Priestess. So I will say that while you was in this situation, it felt great, but there was, since this is, I'm using Spellcasters Tarot, Wheel of the Year Tarot, and this month, strangely, I was led to use the Dark Grimoire Tarot, which is not my favourite for this sort of reading, but I was like, oh, okay, Spirit. You know, and this one alerts me to a factor that your intuition was actually going, well, this is okay, but there was a but there. There was, this is everything that I wanted. This is everything that I asked for, but there's this one thing that's annoying, irritating, holding me back, whatever. And that's okay, because you'd made a commitment to what you were doing, but to be honest, that commitment started changing shape. It's like a new understanding, a new dream, a new aim, a new goal was starting to form in your mind at this point. We're still in the past here. Starting to form that you was like, well, okay, I've been committed to this, but I'm going to make this new commitment, which is I don't think like you're necessarily getting rid of the old one. It's like the idea of specializing, you know, rather than I commit to clean all houses, I'm going to commit to clean all kitchens. So, you know, you're narrowing it down somewhat. Or I was heading here, but I'm now going to head here. It's just a slightly different direction. So I've still got that old thing going on, but it's not as important anymore. And that that worked out well for you. And I think recently a clarity has come to you. I want to say it's come to whatever that was has come to an end, but that's not quite true. It's not that it's come to an end. It's that you developed a clarity about where your place in all of this was. So we've had this growth of I want to do this slightly differently. I need to do this slightly differently to get that sense of personal accomplishment, for one thing. And you know what? You was okay with that, but also you was okay with the fact that what you have been doing had been pretty fertile up to this point, but there is a better place which you are now deciding to take action to head towards. And I will say, with all that High Priestess energy here and then the Temperance card, yeah, you're balancing what your new destination is alongside the commitments that are already there. And some of those, as I say, with this Tower card, it's not even that the commitments are crumbling, although I think they are a bit, but that's a side effect. It's more that your belief in the value of those commitments and the necessity of those commitments is crumbling. But it is a Tower card, and just as I like to clarify the Devil, and I meant to do this when I started talking about it, but I forgot. I now have my new Tower Takeover Tarot from, I got it off Kickstarter. Basically, every card is the Tower. Suddenly can't talk. But it's different people falling from the Tower and different things falling from the Tower. So let's have a look at what this internal process of the... Okay, and we have the... Yeah, so your motivation to continue on the path that you were on is changing. Ace of Wands here. It's taking a different path, and the options are coming apparent to you anyway. Seven of Cups underneath the present situation. Now, right, you're emotionally okay with how all this is changing. You know, you're seeing it as a natural evolution. But Three of Swords, there's some of that clarity. The more that you think about it, the more there's a little bit of you that hurts about it. There's a little bit of you that just goes, and I've spent all this time doing this because I believed this thing, and now I can see that this slightly different thing is what's true. Because bear in mind, dwelling in truth. But I quite like this particular Three of Swords cards, because none of it is... We're not talking with this one about tremendous pain and heartache. Notice there is a bird and wisdom birds, a raven and two owls on top of each of the blades. So there is wisdom being led into you here. So it's, oh my God, I wanted to do this one thing because of such and such. And I don't want such and such to be ruling my behaviour. Why did I let it go on for so long? There's that sort of internal pruning going on. Let's have a look at what's happened in the back. Yes, because... Six of Pentacles. So these two piles, that one, they represent something that you've learned in the past. You know, that's a recent past. That could be anywhere from a past life to childhood to something that you learned a couple of years ago. And it's a lesson that you're either not using at the moment and should be, or a lesson that you had learned one way and it's rather suggesting you need to express it in a completely different way, or just give up on that understanding because it was wrong. Now, I do feel that in the past you had to struggle by yourself to work out how to assign value to things, but that assigning value was more to do with the putting end to some form of torment or some form of torment. That's all I've got. We've got the Hermit here again with the Seven of Wands and Four of Swords. So there was this drawing into yourself, going, oh, I've got to heal for this. And I think with that, there is an expression of understanding, gaining valuing new things, whereas before they wouldn't have had value. Or, more to the point, looking right now, you're looking at the foundation of, like I was saying, why you value one thing over another thing, and finding out that, hang on a minute, the reason I valued this was to do with when I got told off when I was 5, or something. And I do not now need to have the fact that I got told off when I was 5 defining my actions forward. And you are protected and blessed in this process. But I do feel that this process is going to be carrying on for a while. I mean, it's perfect use of this Mars, then Venus, then the Sun, opposing Saturn and squaring Uranus that we've got going on through July. Then you've got that wonderful new beginning energy and 6 of Pentacles again. Oh, and another Fool. So there's a whole new value structure coming in for you on the back of what you have, that inner work that you've been doing. This is where we're now starting to go into the future a little bit here. Now, that causes change that you are going to need to defend, and change that you are, this particular 7 of Wands, it's a bit like choosing the hill that you're going to die on, apart from you're not going to die. But choosing the hill where you're going to make a stand, where you're going to turn around and say, this is the bit that has value for me, that has meaning for me. This is the bit that I will defend. And I feel that there is change around you that supports you doing this, the World card here. And it's building the foundation of quite a bit of stability, material happiness, community support, that sort of thing. However, you are being just a slight bit of worked during it, which is understandable with everything that's going on, sort of, well, I won't say out there, in the rest of the world. There's that sort of that scared budgerigar look of what's going on around you, but you are being called to focus into yourself and have a look at whatever is really causing you anxiety. There is something, 2 of Cups here, King of Pentacles. My God, how many double cards can you get? 2 High Priestess on the same pile, 2 King of Pentacles. Where was it? There was another one, wasn't there? I've forgotten now. But anyway, there's something that once you've determined the hill you're going to die on, but remember, you're not dying. Once you've determined that, then that will, in and of itself, bring up its own stresses, because I assume from this that you are going to be receiving some form of opposition, or even if it's just inertia of previous systems that ain't getting out the way. But there is something or someone that you will be able to come together with that creates a nice bit of forward motion. Now, this is going to be... Right, so this change here that we've got with the Death card, that carries on. Once the stresses come up about what's going on out there and how it's affecting what you are trying to do, that's when you need to join forces with somebody or something. And I will say something because it could be, I want to do this, then, oh God, I have to learn carpentry or kinesiology, or how to read an X-ray, or, or whatever. So you're joining with some new practical force. That practical force could be a skill, or it could be a person. But it's new. That's the main thing. Or at least you having that relationship with it is new. But as long as you keep working at it and keep, no matter how things are changing around you, which they will keep doing, but those changes are going to start also being a little bit more in your benefit. Um, and you just have to make the choice to continue with it, which it will be fruitful. The Emperor, the Empress, divine pairing, creating your own empire, having it be abundant, and the Lovers making the decision, making the commitment to carry on with this. So there's, because around you there's an influence of someone that they're full of great ideas, but they're looking at what's been lost. There's love there with that Knight of Cups, and they've got this firm idea of how it's supposed to be, and they're quite stern about this. But I do rather get the feeling that it's better for you to say, yeah, no, that's not how we're doing this. Or that's not how I'm doing this. You go ahead and do whatever you want. Because hopes and fears, oh God, am I ever going to get there? Is this really going to bring me the wish fulfillment that I'm after? Is it just yet another burden that I'm taking on, like the old burden that I took on? And I really get the impression that no. And this, there is a source of good advice and good ideas around you. Even if they're focusing on the loss, you can get them to talk more hypothetically. So, Ace of Pentacles, there's your new beginning grounded. There's your new beginning really starting in the way that matters, coin. I mean, I don't mean that all the spiritual stuff and the mental development stuff doesn't matter. Of course it does. But you've still got to put food on your table. And with some of the changes that are around here, I think that there is a concern that food might not land on the table, and this indicates that yes, it will. And as long as you are doing what you are trying to do for the right reasons, then I think that although it's going to be a hard slog, you are going to get there. But you're going to end up cutting out a little more than what you thought, than what you think you are now. But that's fine, because that's that path of Icarus. Or more to the point, it's the path of Icarus growing up to become Daedalus. And yes, I know that's munching the myth into little pieces, but Icarus died because he was unaware of his inexperience. But we're saying you are to be aware of your inexperience and only go as far as you know that you understand. So all in all, there's quite an overhaul. You as well, Capricorn. I think it was Sagittarius. I said a total overhaul. But this is more concrete, more no, not more concrete, more planned, more strategic. And interestingly, not one devil card. So this is working on the assumption that you are, and I hate to sound all hippie, but we are talking about co-creation. You and the world, the rest of the world, or the planets, or the spirit, or whatever, are co-creating, and the essential ingredient here is you. Because the world can go to hell in a handbasket, or the world can go to hell in a handbasket apart from your doing your thing, and your thing echoes out, so it's less hell, more handbasket. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so that's really positive, Capricorn. If it means anything to you, please do comment down below, even if it's only a message received and understood, because it's nice to know that these readings get to the ears of whoever they're supposed to get to. Otherwise, I'm just sat talking to my laptop. There will be new moon readings coming out, so I will see you then. But also, don't forget, go and have a look at your moon sign and your rising sign. excuse me, and I will see you later. Cheers.